and cheer. In this podcast palace, we got the atmosphere. Whoa, whoa, Bobo and Cramer, yeah, the sound of the lost, taking on the world, and they're never gonna stop with that New York prick rising to the top. Get loud. Electric sound, with every single word, we never done frown. From the Midline Giants to the Madison Square, Bobo and Cramer, yeah, this man been getting it out. Whoa, whoa, Bobo and Cramer, yeah, the sound to last, taking on the world, and they're never gonna stop with that New York grit, down rising to the top. Get alive.
And that's right, everybody. Welcome back once again to another edition of the Best Seat in the House podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rob Kramer, joined by my co-host, the great Daniel Bobo Curlin. And we got a lot going on today in New York sports. Not only do we have the Knicks coming off an all-time brutal playoff choke and coming home, actually going on the road to Atlanta to take on the Hawks tonight for Game 3. We also got the Mets fresh off snapping their 12-game winning streak. The Yankees going for the sweep up in Fenway, and the 2026 NFL Draft finally is here tonight. Our Jets and Giants have 4 picks in the top 16. And before we get into all of that, Dan, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. A little bit whirlwind of emotions because I am upset that Lindor just got injured and is probably going to be out, I think, for like maybe 2 months. Maybe a month and a week, which is worse because you know how Lindor's a slow starter. So, you know, just when he was about to finally get going, this happened.
Yeah, that's right. And shout out to Lee B for hanging out with us. And, of course, PhD hanging out as always. Shout out to both those guys. But, yeah, Dan, it's you hit the nail on the head. And where is there a better place to start than our absolutely hapless New York Mets, who ended the 12 games losing streak yesterday, the longest losing streak they've had since 2002. So it is a 24-year, high in losses in a row for the Mets. A 3-2 loss, very unimpressive too. This offense looks terrible, and just like Dan said too. When it rains, it pours, they say. And right now it is pouring all over Citi Field. And Francisco Lindor hurts his calf. He's placed on the IL. He's expected to miss significant time, just like Dan said. So, I mean, it could be up to 2 months. Could be more than that. We might not be seeing Francisco Lindor until the All-Star break at this rate. Who knows? But, things are just not going well right now for the Mets, Dan. 12 losses in a row is enough, but the Mets, the kick in the balls about it is that the Mets lost Soto for the better part of the last 3 weeks, right? Soto finally comes back tonight. He didn't even play any rehab games. Played his first game yesterday, looked pretty good, got on base a couple of times yesterday, nothing to complain about, but you turn around, Francisco Lindor, suddenly he's trying to score, and you notice when he's rounding third base, it didn't really look too good. He was not going full speed. You knew something was wrong. And then when Bo Bichette came out for shortstop the next inning, instead of going out to third like he has all year for the Mets, we knew something really bad was happening, Dan. So, what's your immediate takeaway from that Lindor injury, and how do you think this affects the Mets going forward?
Oh, this is gonna be an even tough hill to climb, even a more offensive struggle. I feel like only thing I could hope for is that somehow Roddy Mauricio gets going, getting all this playing time, and you just gotta hope that somehow somewhere some prospects down in the pipeline get called up, are ready to be called up. Like I'm seeing that Tyler, Ryan Clippard. I'm seeing looks like he's getting hot lately. I've been looking at taking a look a little bit at the minor league games and at AAA, and he's looks like he's finally getting going.
Yeah, Clifford, the minor league first baseman right now, Ryan Clifford, who the Mets got back from the Astros in the Justin Verlander trade a couple of years ago, has really heated up at AAA. I think it might have just been last week or the week before that we had been talking about how Ryan Clifford had started off terribly at AAA this year. He was hitting around 200 and did not have a home run 17 games into the season. However, in the last 5 games, he's gone crazy. I think he's at something like an 860 OPS, and he's got 4 home runs over the last couple of games. So we're going to have to see a little bit more of that, but he's definitely putting himself in position right now to get a call up. Obviously, Mauricio already got that with this. The Mets are also getting Christian Scott today. So Christian Scott is rejoining this team. Obviously, he came up a couple of years ago, and he had to have Tommy John surgery. He had pitched, quite a few pretty impressive games early on in his career, but the Mets offense was not able to capitalize on any of that, and so his record right now stands at 0-3. But you got to give credit for Christian Scott making his way back to the majors, Dan, because it's been just about 2 years since he made his last start as a Met.
Yeah, it's like wild. It's like hard to believe that he got called up to the majors, got your classic Met injury, and hasn't got his first win yet.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt
like
about it.
it's a really wild story with this guy.
It
And
is.
for and 2 years out, this is probably going to be the first Mets starting pitcher 2 years after his MLB debut to get his first win.
That's a good point. It's a long time between getting your major league debut out of the way and getting your first major league win. But that's what happens when you have Tommy John. Christian Scott said it was the longest time he's gone in his life without picking up a baseball. So nice to see him back at the big league level. Real quick too, I want to give another shout out to one of our buddies hanging out in the chat. Let's see, Dan, you want to give a shout out to JV Ducey there?
Yeah, hi to JV Ducey. Not sure how Houston guy is watching this, but hi to you and thanks for supporting the show.
Yeah, he's got a nice dog there on there. So he's a baseball fan. He's a dog fan, so he fits right in with the crew, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're a fellow dog parent. So good. So we got to say hi to you.
Yeah, and he hit the like button twice, so we got to thank him for that.
Oh, that's even better. You just hit it twice, even better. Not only did you hit it once, you hit it twice, and hopefully you like that, and hopefully you'll enjoy when we do that upcoming 999 challenge special. That's coming right. Memorial Day weekend this year on a Saturday Memorial Day weekend. You'll be watching us potentially be the drunkest we'll ever be on air.
I think that's a good bet if we are able to pull that off. But you're definitely right about that, Dan. But so let's keep it rolling here. Obviously, Ronnie Mauricio is up. He's been hitting the shit out of the ball in AAA so far this year. So it's going to be really interesting, especially if this is going to be a two-month thing with Lindor out. Ronnie Mauricio is going to get a lot of opportunity here over the next, couple of weeks and months that this goes on for. So it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to this, because Mauricio has been one of the Mets' top prospects for the last couple of years. But even though he's had those glimpses of success, remember, he had a big home run in San Francisco late last year, in the ninth inning that gave the Mets a big win, and he's had a couple of big moments here and there, not to mention the walk-off hit he had that was the Mets' last win before yesterday, 2 weeks before that, against the Diamondbacks at Citi Field. So he does have a flair for the dramatic. He does have the ability to produce. He's been doing great at AAA so far. So, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope the Mets can get something out of Ronnie Mauricio, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully he'll get something going. I mean, this is a guy it's one of the guys I've seen in the minors before. So hopefully he gets going.
Very cool, man. And so the thing too that I've been thinking about is how bad this Mets lineup is, Dan. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to put it except as harshly as I spelled it out right there. The Mets lineup sucks. You look at this Met team, Dan, and it's really a disgrace. The lineup that we're looking at here right now. I'm pulling this up right now as Christian Scott is getting ready to take the mound over here at Citi Field. And, look at this Met lineup, Dan. So the Mets have shifted it to where Bo Bichette is leading off. So you got Bo Bichette, Juan Soto, who's DHing tonight. So I guess they're going to take it easy on him when he first came back, when he's first back now. So Soto is batting second. Francisco Alvarez, who a lot of people had penciled into the number 9 hole, or at the highest, the 8 hole in this lineup, 3. He's hitting third in this awful lineup. Luis Robert Jr., who was right there at the bottom of the lineup with him, he's hitting cleanup. Then you got Brett Beatty, who is hitting 209 in the number 5 spot. Mark Vientos, who finally got a big hit for the first time in 3 weeks yesterday, is hitting 6th. Marcus Semien, who was leading off for the last couple of days, has dropped down to the number 7 spot. Mauricio is slotted into the number 8 hole at shortstop, and Carson Benj, who's hitting 136, is batting 9. That is about as unimpressive a lineup as the Mets have run out there in a long time, Dan.
No, I mean,
sorry,
David Stearns really messed up, didn't quite get the memo that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And he messed up the freaking part of the team that wasn't the problem. He just freaking meddled too much, and it's showing right here how bad that is.
Yeah, well, the problem too is that obviously the offense, I will have to agree with you. The offense wasn't the problem last year, even though they were extremely inconsistent. They were not clutch. They did, for the most part, have a decent year offensively. The pitching, 100% was the worst thing about it. They were terrible, especially in the second half. And really, you can point to that day, June 13th, when Kodai Senga got hurt against the Tampa Bay Rays, where everything tumbled down and it only got worse when Griffin Canning got hurt, so on and so forth. But this lineup is unacceptable, Dan. What I just read off to you is just freaking insane for a team with a $370 million payroll. And what I got to say to you, Dan, is Steve Cohen and David Stearns need to answer for putting the Mets in this position. This is exactly what we bitched about all offseason when me and you and every other Met fan out there, or at least most of us, were having mental breakdowns because they decided to go with Devin Williams instead of Edwin Diaz. Now, granted, Edwin Diaz is hurt, and he is going to have surgery, and he is going to miss 2 to 3 months. So the Mets wouldn't have had the closer they've been counting on probably till the All-Star break anyway. But you know what? I would rather be sitting here having the All-Star break circled when Edwin Diaz is coming back than know that we got 3 years of Devin freaking Williams. This guy's making $17 million a year, and he stinks. He's come into the last 3 games and lit the game on fire. Didn't even give the Mets a chance. The game that they were leading 1-0 the other night, he comes in, he doesn't get it out. And yeah, you can criticize Mark Vientos because he made a bad boneheaded play, and instead of taking the easy out at first base, tried to get the lead runner at third. Didn't work out. But it's not his fault. Devin Williams walked the first 2 batters he faced. So Devin Williams continues to be a extreme detriment to this Met team. And I got to tell you, much like the Yankees decided to do last year, I'd rather see Luke Weaver closing out games like he did yesterday. He didn't get the save, but he got the win. I'd much rather see that going forward than this clown Devin Williams. We had our reservations about it when they signed him back in December, and everything we feared has come true with this guy.
Yeah, it's just come true with this guy. Everything that we feared, even worse, we're paying guys that about her payroll. We're paying guys that are not even on the team anymore. So it's like it's really bad. And yeah. I knew right off the bat, I was nervous about this when we had to go with Devin Williams. The guy I was joking about how really horrible lucked out the Yankees lucked out, and it ended up on our hands.
Yeah,
and it's so far it's looking like that, and right now I can only hope this gets better. But right now it's just looking disastrous. And man, I can tell you, I don't know. I'll be replacing a TV because unfortunately, I'm at the TVs. It's still in good shape. It's like a modern TV. But if a circumstance where I'm going to replace a TV, you know what I'm going to do if the living room TV is getting replaced? You want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait to the end of the season to replace the living room TV if the living room TV is going to be replaced at any time soon. And you know why? I'm going to take out 40 years of Mets fan frustration on this TV that's going to be replaced. That would be replaced if it's replaced. I would take out 40 years of Met fan frustration.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. There is a lot of frustration boiling over in us Met fans, as right now Christian Scott currently is trying to pitch himself out of a bases-loaded jam at the top of the first inning. Already up to 23 pitches here, so let's keep our fingers crossed he can get out of this. But, one guy, too, I want to give a lot of credit to, and this is a guy we do have to give David Stearns credit for bringing in, and that's Clay Holmes. He has been so good so far. And I got to say, my only criticism about his performance yesterday is that Carlos Mendoza stupidly took him out going into the eighth inning. This guy was on cruise control, only at 88 pitches. And look, Carlos Mendoza, I know you might be confused by this, but believe it or not, it is legal and allowed under the Major League Baseball rules to let a guy pitch into the eighth inning. So maybe yesterday would have been a nice time to do it. That way you wouldn't have had to put Brooks Raley in again and try to get 4 outs out of Luke Weaver after that.
Yeah, that would be really nice to have. That would be really nice to have that, and to be able to have a situation where we have to use less bullpen down the line. Because I'm telling you, it is just sickening having to go through the same shit we went through last year, where I feel like arms flew off the bullpen by the time season ended.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It felt like that. You're absolutely right, Dan. And, so I just want to give a lot of credit to Clay Holmes for that. And I want to give, a disappointed head shake to Christian Scott as he just walked in a run. So the Mets currently trail 1-0 here in the first. So tonight, as I said, it's Christian Scott against Joe Ryan. So we're going up against the Twins ace. Got to keep our fingers crossed that the Mets can try to at least score a couple of runs tonight. That has been working lately. But at least the one good thing we can hang our hats on, Dan, is that even if the Mets do lose tonight, we'll be joined by the Phillies for the worst record in baseball, because the Phillies have now lost actually 9 straight games. Pretty crazy. Much like the Mets, it's pretty crazy that they're having in April like this point. But Mets are 8-16, Phillies are 8-17, already played today. So, let's just hope the Mets win so we can at least be one game better than the Phillies right now.
Yeah, exactly. I just hope that at least so that we win. All right, I'm hoping for 2 in a row. I don't know if you saw this morning. I posted something, a clip from Major League 2, the winning streak speech.
Oh yeah, I did see that actually.
Yeah, I just posted that randomly. I was waiting for the Mets to win to post that. Because I
Yeah,
said
well,
the beginning of this season just felt like the movie Major League.
yeah,
It just felt like that from
it
the
took
beginning of the
2 weeks.
season. And even the very beginning, I mentioned it before, that scene in the movie where they talk, where the GM's talking to the owner and he's saying to her like, "Yeah, two of our best players left via free agency." Kind of parallel, similar to us. Well,
Definitely is,
yeah,
man. No doubt about it. And
yeah,
yeah, so let's keep our fingers crossed right now. The Mets already have Tobias Myers up in the bullpen as at 30 pitches, 31 pitches now. Christian Scott uh, is down in the count 3-1. So not off to a great start, Christian Scott, but we'll keep our eye on it, see what goes on. We do have a lot to get to tonight, so can't dwell on the Mets for too long. Let's jump on to the Yankees right now, Dan. Um, before we cover that Knicks, what happened with them, and of course the uh, um, the NFL draft tonight. We will be doing our mock draft at the end of the show tonight, so stay tuned for that. As the draft is just less than an hour away now. Can't believe it, Dan. But the
yeah.
Yankees now they're going for the sweep against the Red Sox at Fenway. They took the first two. And Christian Scott got out of it, so thank God. Only one run there. But all right, let's close the book on the Mets. I had to just see him get out of that inning. Still no
Yeah,
hits allowed, too, Dan. So technically, a no hitter is still possible.
yeah. You're actually. I think you're probably on a little delay from where I am on my end.
Okay. Well, either way, give me a heads up if something good happens then. But
Yeah,
Mets do end up getting out of that inning. So we will turn the page to the Yankees now, Dan. Yankees and Red Sox are tied 1-1 right now. They started a little bit earlier than us. They had a 6:45 first pitch tonight up there. But Yankees are going for the sweep. We were talking about Clay Holmes pitching great for the Mets, Dan. Got to give all the credit in the world to Max Fried, the Yankees' big free agent acquisition from last season, who had Cy Young worthy year last season. Started off this year incredible too, 3-1 so far. This being his third win, 8 shutout innings yesterday at Fenway Park. When you're a Yankee pitcher and you're going into Fenway and you have a start like this, that is as good as it gets if you're a Yankee fan. 8 shutout innings, 9 Ks, only 3 hits allowed. Doesn't get much better than that, Dan.
yeah. Of course, this kind of thing looks out with another team other than us. But, and anyway, I got to say about Max Fried, he's lucked out a lot, paid dividends for the Yankees, just coming off an injury and everything, and he's panned out well, and the the Yankees pulled off a win that they kind of needed to win. That's a highly contested series, and they managed to get the win.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yankees outscored the Red Sox 8-1, a 4-0 win and a 4-1 win. The first 2 games of that series. Now it's 1-1 in the going to bottom of the 5th inning as young Cam Schlittler is on the hill tonight for the Yanks. The pitching matchup is Schlittler, who we all remember. Talk about 8-inning pitching performances against the Red Sox for the Yankees. Last year, Cam Schlittler had one for the ages that at Yankee Stadium that knocked the Red Sox out of the playoffs in a decisive Game 3 of that wild card series. The Yankees coming up big in that game. Cam Schlittler dominating in that performance. And, now he's back at it tonight against the Red Sox. Not quite as dominant as that night in October, but I'm sure the Yankees are feeling pretty good about themselves right now. You see that start he's off to this year, 2-1 with a 1.88 ERA. So he's doing just what he's got to do, and he's taking on a rookie right now in Peyton Toll, who only had 2 innings pitched on this season coming into today.
Yeah, so they're looking out good. This one's probably gonna be a much closer game, and Schlittler just has to keep the momentum going for the Yankees in this, because it can be a big momentum swinger when you win these kind of series.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. You're right about it. Especially these rivalry type series, interdivisional matchups. You're definitely right about that. And the Yankees, by the way, I'm sorry, the Red Sox just grabbed the lead against the Yankees 2-1 on I believe it was a Narvaez home run for them. Yeah, the catcher, former Met. Oh no, I'm sorry. Same last name though, Carlos Narvaez, not the former Met Omar Narvaez. So the Red Sox did grab the lead now against the young Cam Schlittler. So the Yankees are looking to get this ready to rock. They've now won 5 in a row. They lead the AL East by 2 games, and they're 15-9 on the season. So great start for the Yankees, no doubt about that. And they're doing this all too without their shortstop, um, who is being replaced so far by Ahmed Rosario, off to a great start with the Yankees. The former Met, 4 home runs and 13 RBIs to kick off this season so far. But the guy that he's replacing, Anthony Volpe, is right around the corner, coming back right now. With he's nearing his return to the Yankees lineup. He had that offseason surgery that cost him the beginning of this season, but looks like he's ready to come back in that Texas series the Yankees will be playing next week.
Yep, exactly. The Texas series where my Texas relative who's a Yankees fan, he'll probably be attending because he's always there when his teams are in his area.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of Met fans around too. With the Texas Rangers this year, with Jacob DeGrom and Brandon Nimmo being a big part of that team this year so far. So I'm sure
Under that, I think he got confused that series later in the year. I'm saying about the Yankees series right now. My
no,
brother's a Yankee.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, there are going to be a lot of Met fans paying attention to the Rangers all season because of the Mets connection now.
Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be some in the stands, saying giving DeGrom and Nimmo a nice applause during
No
that.
doubt about it, man.
Met fans who will probably make that trip later in the year.
Yeah. So the Yankees get underway with them next week. And in between, just like our buddy JV Ducey says, that the Houston has a series with the Yankees coming up, and he is right. It's going to be Yankees and Astros this weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday series taking place. Let me see. I think it's in Houston, yeah, and it's kicking off tomorrow, where Will Warren is going to be taking on Lance McQuellers tomorrow. So it's going to be a big matchup for the Yankees and Astros this weekend. Bringing back those old, Yankee Astros rivalry memories from the past few years.
Yep, that's for sure. Even though the Astros kind of look a little bit like a shell of the teams that they've had the last few years or so.
Oh yeah, very true, Dan. And all right, that's gonna do it on the Yankees. Let's turn our attention now to the New York Knicks, and that's right, Dan. It was a very, very tough game at Madison Square Garden the other night. There's no way the Knicks should have lost this game. They end up losing game 2, 107-106, a game they led at one point late in the fourth quarter by, I believe it was like 11 or 13 points. So just really, really bad job by the Knicks to blow that game. It's the type of game that, late in the playoffs that this would kill, but early on against a playoff, untested team like the Hawks, really just an ugly loss. This is a game the Knicks should never have even been in danger of losing. And to lose it, I blame a lot of it on the head coach and his rotation decisions. But, the players can't let this slip through their fingers, Dan.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. The players just let it slip through their fingers, and what really did him in, and I was yelling at the TV a lot because of lack of scoring in the last 5 minutes to really put the game away. I feel did us in, and the lack of all those unanswered points we gave up. I feel like we also did us in. Oh, and it looked like that Brett Beatty just homered for the Mets. I'm just seeing on one of my screens because I have like the Knicks on one screen. I got the Mets on another. And
really? Wait, how far back am I? Hold on a sec. This is insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you hit a pause on the DVR or something?
I might have. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
But
you
either
might,
way, uh, I must have. I must have. I just saw the Beatty home run when I just flipped back. So yeah, you're right. Good call. Let me know that. So Brett Beatty does crush a 3-run home run. The Mets got a 3-1 lead now. So looking pretty good against the Twins A so far.
yeah, it's looking good so far. They're doing what they need to do. Hopefully they keep this up. But yeah, to go back to the Knicks game, there was just a lot of not scoring, a lot of unanswered points they were giving up, and I knew, oh my god, this freaking better not cost us. Freaking scored something already. Those last 5 minutes were having me yell at the TV, and man, was I upset. There was just so much cursing, and I says, "Oh, even if one team has off, there's still orange and blue disappointment once again."
Very true. You're very right about that, man. And the curse of the orange and blue reared its ugly head once again yesterday. I'm sorry, for game two. So that's an ugly loss. And one thing too that I was upset about at the end of game two, but it was only because NBC was incorrect on their broadcast. So a lot of people, a lot of Knicks fans, myself included, thought that the Knicks
And even
and
me.
you too, me and you talked about it after the game, that the Knicks had a timeout remaining for the final play of that game. If you don't remember, the um, the Hawks had the ball. They had 2 free throw attempts. They actually missed both of them inexplicably. The Knicks get the ball back. They had to bring it back down, and they ended up getting a shot with Mikal Bridges at the end, who wasn't able to hit it. But it was a rushed, poor shot attempt because they only had about, I think it was 5.7 seconds to get it down from one end of the court to the other. So obviously it didn't work out. My criticism at the end of that game, because it said it on there, I was watching the game pretty closely, but I thought that they were correct when it comes to counting the timeouts. NBC clearly showed the Knicks had 1 timeout left. Now, apparently that was incorrect, and the Garden Jumbotron correctly had it up for the people that were in the arena, but anybody else that was watching thought that the Knicks had a timeout left, and that's one thing. You can knock Mike Brown for a lot of decisions, but I just wanted to make it clear that we're not going to kill him for the timeout because he didn't have one.
Yeah, exactly. That one we kind of, if anything we were that's one thing we could take back about yelling at the TV about. Even though there was still a lot we could yell about at the TV after, but that one, all of us, or I should say, all of us, most of the real fans who were watching this knew what was going on. Because let's face it, I mean, I feel like the actual fans couldn't pull off those get-in prices of those tickets.
Well, that definitely plays a
So,
role, no doubt about it. And Dan, though, too, I want to give a I there are 2 guys on this Knicks team that we know have to play well and carry this team if they're going to win a championship, right? Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Now, there was a long portion during this second half where Mike Brown had both of those guys sitting on the bench for long periods of time at the same time. Terrible, terrible job. You can't do that in the playoffs. He's treating it like it's a regular season game, and that's what happens. The Knicks had a 11 or 13 point lead. They put those 2 guys out of the game. It gets whittled down to 5. Now you put them back in. So the rest of the time, it's a close game. You could have expanded that lead and made it a 20-point game. But instead you didn't. You end up taking in, you put some of these other guys that don't belong on the floor during a playoff game, and or at least for that many minutes. And the Knicks go out there and blew it and lose by 1 point. And I blame the fact that he had these guys sitting on the bench for that long as a big reason why the Knicks did not win this game.
yeah, he really mismanaged it. Mike Brown needs to be all hands on deck in the playoffs. This is not the time to be doing that. This is the time to bring in as many everyone everyone possible to get the job done. This is not the time. This is not the time to do that. It's not the time to
Yeah,
do that. He should have managed this game a lot differently than he did during the regular season, and it just showed right there everything that just made that could make the Mondays even worse. That did work. That made it even worse.
yeah, no doubt about that, man. And the Knicks end up losing that game because of that. And another thing that I was upset about was the shot selection. Jalen Brunson had 26 shots. That's right around where his sweet spot should be. He should be, leading the Knicks in scoring chances and scoring opportunities. Karl Anthony Towns had 12 shots in this game. I can understand if he was 1 for 12 and you're saying, okay, let's see if he can do other things tonight. He doesn't have a shot. He was 8 for 12 in that game. I mean, he's hitting his shots. Mikal Bridges had, you know, 11 shot attempts. You have some of these other guys in the team that had 10 shot attempts. Karl Anthony Towns should be right neck and neck with Jalen Brunson on shot attempts. You have to get this guy involved in the offense because the Knicks are not going to win. They're not going to go far unless it's Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, without a doubt, they need they need to get Karl Anthony Towns more shot attempts to get them more in better position to win this game, and they really got to start doing this tonight.
Yeah, yeah, and so far, not off to a great start. The Knicks can put this game 2 loss behind them with a big win tonight in Atlanta. The Knicks haven't played a playoff game in Atlanta since way back in that 2021 playoff series, but it's not off to a great start tonight. The Knicks, I'm just looking for an update. Yeah, there we go. The score right now at the end of the first quarter is 33-21. They allowed 33 points to the Hawks in the first quarter. Now, if you break that down, you're on pace to allow over 120 points to the Hawks in this game right now. That's unacceptable, and that's the type of defense that me and you have been complaining about all year, Dan.
Yeah, that is exactly what we've been complaining about all year, and it's happening. And I really don't want to be. Please don't put me in a situation where I'm seeing another big letdown. I've gone through so many of these. I just want to be able to for once use that Simpsons meme, the one with Moses like with the thing saying not tonight, old friend.
Yeah, with the noose. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I hear you.
Exactly. Which by the way that meme's not. It's just joking. I'm not actually doing. I'm not actually
Of
doing anything.
course. God
Yeah. Don't have
forbid.
to worry about
God
that. I'm usually
forbid.
fine. And besides that, nothing happened. It's just only like a maybe, like I'm just upset like the first 2 minutes after the game, and then I've calmed down. But man, things it just takes a lot out of you with these teams all these years that we've gone through long championship droughts with almost all our teams.
Yeah, it's true. And the Knicks are no different. Over 50 years now with no championship and trying their best to get out of the first round. Not off to a great start tonight, but so far, hey, they got 3 more quarters. Let's hope they can wake their asses up. It's still 1-1 in this series. Tip-off tonight was at 7 p.m., so we're just a little bit less than an hour into this Knick game right now as we sit a quarter in. So fingers crossed they can figure this thing out and end this series in 5. This cannot be going to Game 6 or, God forbid, Game 7. If this goes to game, I'll say this: if this series even goes to Game 6, this postseason so far, at least on the beginning of it, is an abject failure for Mike Brown. The Knicks should be getting rid of this team within the first 5 games. Now you can't sit here and say they're going to sweep. That's sweeping a professional team is a very, very difficult thing to do. But this team better go out there and win the next 3 now and end this series.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this series quickly already. And and so I don't have to sit through because I guess maybe the first round. I don't know about the second round, but the first round just annoying me that having every other round having to rely on Amazon and hoping they're not doing a bunch of work on they're not doing a bunch of work on the Wi-Fi as they've been doing in the last couple of days in my area.
Yeah, man. So, let's hope that all works out, and let's hope that the Knicks are able to come back tonight. Right now, not getting any better. Beginning of the second, down 35-21. So, we'll see what happens. Christian Scott is out of the game for the Mets actually right now. Tobias Myers has come in. That's a little worrisome. In the second inning.
Great! This fucking team. What the fuck again?
Well, who knows? The Mets might have. He threw a lot of pitches there, so I don't know if it's an injury. He threw about 20. He threw about 50 pitches to get the first 4 outs of this game. So the Mets just might not want him throwing that many pitches coming off Tommy John surgery that quickly. So we'll sit back and wait and see what the diagnosis is. But I hope it's just because he threw a lot of pitches early on today. So let's keep our fingers crossed with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So, but I'll be keeping track. But I know this game's not even going to be an easy one either now. It's another bullpen game.
Not. That's right. 3-1 Mets in the second right now. Tobias Myers in relief of Christian Scott. So we'll see what that goes. And Dan, with that, let's turn our attention finally to the 2026 NFL Draft. I really can't believe that it's here already. We've been talking about this forever. That is the 2026 NFL Draft. Dan, there we go. Come on. And when it comes down to it, everybody loves the draft, and we have 4 picks in the top 16 right now. The Jets have 2 and 16. The Giants have 5 and 10. And Dan, let's talk about that for a second because the Giants traded their star defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the number 10 pick in this year's draft. There have been a lot of mixed reactions around the league and from Giants fans, but I feel like this was a great move. Dexter Lawrence is going to be 29 years old. He's coming off the worst season of his career. He only had half a sack last year. This is a guy that's supposed to be a pass rusher that's causing, havoc up there for the offensive line, and he had half a sack last year. Pretty disappointing, especially for a guy that wants to make $30 million a year in an extension that he would get from the Giants or any other team he was playing for. So I think this is a great move for the Giants, and plus, the thing to me, the fact that he even demanded a trade, I don't want that guy on my team. And there are situations where you can get over a guy demanding a trade or move past it. But where the Giants are right now, you have nothing but good feelings for the New York Giants right now. They have their quarterback in place. They have a lot of good young players in place, and they have their new head coach, head of the franchise, John Harbaugh, in place. If Dexter Lawrence doesn't want to play for that, if I'm a Giants fan, I'm saying bye-bye, hit the road, have fun in Cincinnati.
Yep, exactly. And with that, we ended up getting a pretty good deal for that. I feel like we it couldn't have worked out any better. I mean, a top 10 draft pick in the first round? That's freaking gold, Jerry.
You're dead right. You're dead on right, man. 100%. And you got it a week before the draft and you had to give up no draft capital for it too. That's a home run all the way around.
Yeah. That is without a doubt. So we got. So I feel like we've lucked out big time in the draft.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So with that, Dan, let's get to our 2026 B-Sith NFL mock draft right now. You are going to be playing the role of Roger Goodell. I'll be putting these up here right now, so just read them as they come across. And this is our NFL mock draft. So we are going to start off with the number 1 pick. And hold on a sec. Let me just get this all together over here. Okay, perfect, Dan. And here we go with the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, Dan.
All right, of course, the first pick is Mendoza. No surprise. And with the first pick, the Las Vegas Raiders draft the draft quarterback Fernando Mendoza of Indiana.
That's right, the Las Vegas Raiders, in a very expected pick, will be taking the Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. Makes a lot of sense. We all know that, Dan. No doubt about it. Definitely makes a lot of sense either way. And with that, Dan, now we know it's going to be shifting into high gear when it comes to this Jets pick. There's a lot now. It's a slam dunk. Everybody knows Fernando Mendoza is going number 1 to the Vegas Raiders, unless some kind of crazy trade happens where another team will be selecting him number 1. Either way, Mendoza is going 1. 2, the Jets are sitting there at number 2, Dan, right now, and a lot of Jet fans want them to go with Arvell Reese, the Ohio State linebacker. However, there is a large contingency. As a matter of fact, I would say most people in the media are saying and speculating that the Jets are going to end up taking David Bailey, the Texas Tech edge rusher, in this draft. Dan, let's see which way the Jets go with the number 2 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, and without a doubt, this is one that it should be a shoo-in for the Jets.
Well, are you going to announce it, Mr. Goodell?
Yeah, with the number two draft pick, the New York Jets draft linebacker, edge linebacker Arvell Reese of Ohio State.
There we go. Arvell Reese, Ohio State, Dan. And what do you think of this pick? Because, me and you had discussed this guy going to the Giants early on when the Giants still had the 1 or 2 pick. But what are your thoughts on Arvell Reese?
Yeah, this was like a shoe-in. This is probably the best thing available to improve the Jets. It's probably going to be a slow rebuilding process, but this is probably one that you probably have to take to make that step. And I guess you got to make a couple of progress. And this is what it is. It's a thin quarter. It's like literally a 1 quarterback draft. So, and unfortunately, the Jets couldn't tank enough because thanks to the Las Vegas Raiders being professional tankers, and thanks to the other X factor that could have been that the Giants may have traded draft picks, may have traded draft picks with the Jets had the Giants had done a better job of their tankathon, but that didn't work out. So everything that was going to play into factor. This is the best they can do, and they picked right, as far as I see it.
Yeah, let's hope. I hope the Jets go Arvell Reese, because if they take David Bailey, I'm not going to flip out or anything and call it a worst pick of all time, because he still would be a good player. But I think Arvell Reese has the higher ceiling, and that's what I really want. So Arvell Reese is going number 2. All right, Dan, we are up to the number 3 pick right now in the NFL draft.
Yeah, this one will just go by quick. With the third pick, the Arizona Cardinals draft edge rusher David Bailey of Texas Tech.
That's right. So it looks like David Bailey didn't really slip too much. He goes right at number 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. Makes sense. Looks like the Cardinals are going to take one of those big defensive guys the Jets don't take. So we got that. The Cardinals taking David Bailey. And all right, at number 4 now, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
Yeah, with the number 4 pick, the Tennessee Titans draft running back Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame.
That's right, Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, this one doesn't surprise me. They looked like they were needing a running back. They did that. They got their franchise running back. a shoe-in for this one.
Yeah, and we've seen Robert Saleh coach the Jets the last couple of years. He loves his running game. This is a guy that defense and running go hand in hand together, and it seems like that makes a lot of sense for Robert Saleh to take the running back out of Notre Dame. And believe me, as a Notre Dame fan, I watch a lot of Notre Dame football. I've seen a lot of great things from Jeremiah Love, so they would be getting an extremely talented back if they do select him in that spot. And here we go, Dan. The New York Giants are on the clock for their first pick of this 2026 NFL draft.
And with the number 5 pick, the New York Giants draft linebacker Sonny Styles of Ohio State.
Sonny Styles. Now, Dan, if there's one guy, I mean, look, nobody's LT. I just saw an interview with LT before, too, where he was talking about, they asked him what he remembers about the night he got drafted, and he said not much because he drank 41 Coors Lights that day. So, there's nobody's going to be LT. He's probably the greatest linebacker of all time, or right there. But the Giants getting a guy in that mold, a great linebacker out of Ohio State, Sonny Styles, one of the best defensive prospects on the board. You got to love this pick.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, this is one that they needed to pick, without a doubt, and they did, and they're gonna really look out with this guy. I feel like this guy's gonna really improve the Giants' defense, and finally back to the days of the Giants' defense being feared by opponents, and that's what you want. That's one of the key things that have brought championships to the Big Apple is. Those feared defenses, those days of like the Big Blue Wrecking Crew of the '80s, and then the Stomp Your Out defense of 2007, and then 2011, which literally played a big factor in bringing us championships, for being the Giants being one of the only team that's given me giving me things to celebrate about during my lifetime for the most part.
This is true, Dan. So it would be a big pick for the Giants, no doubt about it.
Yep, and he'll give him a 5th championship, which I'll have seen in my lifetime, and it's hard to believe that I could say in my life I've seen every Giants championship in the Super Bowl era.
Well, technically, I've seen every Jets championship during my lifetime too, but it's only because there are none of them. So. Me and you are neck and neck with that right now, and a big one for the Giants. Should they pick Sonny Styles at any point in the draft, much less number 5? All right, Dan, let's keep it rolling along now here, and the Cleveland Browns are on the clock now at number 6.
These we're just gonna go over quick to get to this so we could be ready, because I definitely want to watch when the Giants make their pick. But number 6, the Cleveland Browns draft Francis Magugoa. I don't know how to pronounce the names. Apologies to him and his family about the pronunciation. Hopefully you Cleveland Brown fans will get the pronunciation right eventually.
Yeah, and I forgot to include that he's out of Miami too, so he's a Hurricane. And yeah, Dan, you're definitely forgiven for that, because I don't know how to pronounce his name either. And I'm sure that his family will forgive you with the big contract he's going to be signing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I have a relative who even though I have a cousin who went to the University of Miami, who she's probably going to be all over me for mispronunciation because she's probably going to be all over me for mispronunciation that one.
I can see it. But understandable. It's a tough one. So that's the Cleveland Browns pick at number 6, Dan. So let's keep it rocking along here to number 7 with the Washington Commanders.
And with the 7th pick, the Washington Commanders draft safety Caleb Downs of Ohio State.
Caleb Downs definitely from what I hear, generational type talent. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Look at all the Ohio State talent going on early in this draft. Caleb Downs, there are a lot of mocks that have him going to the Giants. He does seem like a guy that could be in Harbaugh's lane. So, maybe the Giants even try to trade up from 10 should they really want to get him that bad. I don't know if the Commanders will be open for business, but either way, in this mock, we have the Commanders taking Downs at 7. That would be a big improvement for their defense. And all right, Dan, let's get to number 8. That is the New Orleans Saints coming in.
And with number 8, the New Orleans Saints that drafts offensive tackle Spencer Fango of Utah.
That's right, and Spencer Fennell, he's a guy that's going to be at some point in the top 20. I think the Saints might even end up trading back if they really do want this guy. But I feel like a piece on that O line will definitely help them. So it makes a lot of sense here to take that tackle. All right, number 9, we get here the highest draft pick the Kansas City Chiefs have had in quite a few years.
And with the 9th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs draft edge rusher Ruben Bain Jr.
Ruben Bain Jr. Also one of the top defensive prospects in this draft. So makes a lot of sense for them to take him. We all know that the Kansas City Chiefs are at some point going to be getting back, Patrick Mahomes probably in late October or November. So they're going to have a chance to go on a run, and they're going to want to improve that defense. So Ruben Bain Jr. would definitely be helping that out a lot. And before we do the Jets pick at number 10, I see our buddy PhD checking in and saying the Knicks suck so much ass right now. And he is right about that. He's a Knicks fan, so he's not crapping on them. He's right. The Knicks right now currently are down 52 to 30. I'm sorry, 51 now, 36. As the Hawks are shooting free throws, so it could be 52 in a minute. But not good, not good for the Knicks. So gotta wake up on that. But with that, Dan, let's get to your New York Giants at number 10 coming on.
And with the number 10th pick, the New York Giants draft with wide receiver Jordan Tyson of Arizona State.
Jordan Tyson, one of those 3 top receivers on the board a lot of people are talking about. Tyson has been jumping up the boards I've been hearing in the last couple of days. Carnell Tate, who is a guy that a lot of people projected as the number 1 prior to this, is falling the draft boards from what I heard lately too. It's obviously Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, and Carnell Tate. So we'll see what happens. But in this draft, we have the Giants taking Jordan Tyson 10. And Dan, what do you think about taking a big-time receiver to pair up with Malik Neighbors in this spot?
I think this is a big one to pair up Malik Neighbors with a wide receiver like Jordan Tyson. This would probably be one of the best drafts the Giants have ever had in years, and we're going to be an even stronger offense. This is going to be an offense that's going to be dangerous, especially with Cam Scatterboot coming back. It's going to be it's going to be a really fun season, I expect. I'm going to have to try to get down to a game during this upcoming season. I don't know, maybe one of these days I could talk a relative or something to drive me to West Virginia to go to training camp, because unfortunately the circumstances, construction going on there. I don't know why the Giants couldn't find an area closer to the New York area to do training camp. Why they couldn't use a college or something. You'd think they would probably use Rutgers or something to do their training camp if they can't use their practice facility for a year. But unfortunately, that's how it's worked out. I wonder how many Giant fans are going to make the trip to West Virginia. Who knows? But we'll see how that goes.
That's true, man. So we have the Giants taking Tyson at 10 there. And all right, let's bang out these last few. as the draft looks like it's just getting underway over in Pittsburgh right now, a couple of minutes away from the Vegas Raiders being put on the clock. So let's wrap this thing up quick, Dan, starting with number 11.
All right, number 11, the Manson sewer of Delane, the Manson Sooner Delane of LSU.
There we go. So the Dolphins need help there with everything right now. A big time corner definitely seems like it makes a lot of sense. All right, now on number 12, we're going to the Dallas Cowboys.
And with the 12th pick, the Cowboys draft Dylan Tilsman of a University of Oregon.
There we go. Okay. Dylan, I think it's pronounced Tiananmen, but I'm not even sure. So
Tiananmen. All right. It's tough trying to learn these pronunciations sometimes.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Oregon,
I was just trying to make sure. I was trying to make sure to get the correct pronunciation of who, potentially Giants draft picks. So maybe this pronunciation, getting used to, kind of was on the back burner.
Makes sense. So that definitely, the Cowboys trying to rebuild that team and defense. So makes a lot of sense there. All right, we are going now to number 13 and the LA Rams.
And with the 13th pick, the Rams draft Makari Lemon of USC. And I first I got to say about this last name, Lemon. Man, that's got to be tough if he has a bad game. The newspaper headlines will be rough on him if he has a bad game ever in his career.
That's very true. Very, very true. You'll get all those lemons, headlines, no doubt about it. Makai Lemon there from USC going to LA seems like it makes a lot of sense. He went to USC, getting drafted by the Rams, staying home there. That definitely, makes sense if it plays out. Now we go to number 14 in the draft, the Baltimore Ravens.
And with the 14th pick, the Ravens draft inside offensive line, the Vega Leon. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
I thought that was an L too, so that's okay. It's actually an I. It's Ioni.
Ioni. Yeah, I got mixed up by that, but they draft Ioni of Penn State.
Yeah, so he seems like a cut and dry Ravens guy. Obviously Harbaugh's not there anymore, but there just seems like certain guys that fit that profile for that team, and I think Vega Ioni is one of those guys. All right, Dan, now we are at number 15, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shout out to the great Fez-Marie Watley.
And with the 15th pick, the Buccaneers draft edge rusher Akeem Massador of the University of Miami.
That's right. Hey, another team trying to improve their defense. Makes a lot of sense to take, one of the top edge rushers. He's probably a top 5 edge rusher in this draft, so makes a lot of sense for them. And all right, Dan, finally, we are at the final pick of our mock here. That is the New York Jets at number 16, and you see who they'll be taking.
And with the number 6 pick, the New York Jets draft wide receiver Carnell Tate of Ohio State.
That's right, the Ohio State University. What are you gonna say now?
Yeah, and with that, the Jets got themselves a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I think for both of our teams too, it makes a lot of sense to go defense and then get your receiver. We both have our number 1 receivers. We have for the Jets and Garrett Wilson. You guys have Malik Neighbors. So I feel like you take the defensive player as the priority with that first pick, and then you get your receiver with the second pick. So looks like we could be And I feel like, Dan, if this is how it plays out for the Jets and the Giants in the first round, there's going to be a lot of happy football fans in New York.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I feel like within the next 3 years, there could be the potential All New York Super Bowl that's never happened in the history of the NFL could happen in the next 3 years. I have a feeling that could happen.
I mean, from your lips to God's ears, Dan, as the great Joe Beningo would say, because I mean, your team is definitely pushed in that direction right now. And hey, maybe with the Jets do have 5 first-round picks between this year and next year. Maybe that changes their franchise completely. And maybe it's with Glenn, maybe it's not with Glenn, but I don't care who's coaching the Jets as long as they're in a Super Bowl at some point in the next couple of years. So that would be amazing, no doubt about that. And with that, Dan, that's going to do it not only for our 2026 mock draft, that's going to do it for our show. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us here on this edition of Best Seat in the House podcast. Before we get out of here, Dan, anything you'd like to plug for yourself?
Sure, I got to plug my Twitter Bobo103 NYC, Instagram Bobo718DK, YouTube one word Daniel Curlin for all your Bobo content on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to our Patreon, $5 a month. You know the whole deal. Get early access, get trackside edited stuff, which I'll probably film a little later on after the Giants draft picks. I'll film the trackside edit for this week, but you get access to all that stuff. Plus, you support the show for only $5 a month. So definitely check all that stuff out.
That's right.
And if you see me at any of the Met games this weekend, say hi, because I'll be at the game. I'll be at 2 of the games this weekend. So definitely
That's
say
right.
hi.
If it's like, where's Waldo? So if you see Bobo at Citi Field, say hello to him and give him a shout out. Tell him you like the show. We would appreciate that. And so also good news on the Knicks front right now. The Knicks actually, as we were starting to wrap up this conversation, the Knicks were down by 16. They've actually cut that to 9. So it's going in the right direction. Let's keep our fingers crossed. The Knicks are able to have a big second half and dig themselves out of this hole. But Dan, that's going to do it for us on the show. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us here, talking everything tonight and hanging out for our mock draft. We'll be back with you on Sunday on Patreon, so make sure to check that out. Patreon.com/Best Seat in the House podcast. It's only $5. We appreciate everybody that has subscribed already and anybody that's thinking about it. So that's going to do it for the show. So for my co-host, the great Daniel Bobo Carlin, I'm Rob Kramer. This is the Best Seat in the House podcast, everybody. Let's hope we have a big night tonight in New York sports, especially in that NFL draft, Dan. So let's go Jets. Let's go Giants. Let's go New York. And have a great weekend, everybody. We'll catch you next time on the Best Seat in the House podcast.